Big news for migrants living in the UK, and this is, well, sort of a relief, if I must say, for migrants if you're in the UK, especially for those that came on a care worker visa and all those that are on skilled worker visa and Hong Kong visa holders, because the government or the UK Parliament just held a debate on the 8th of September this year, 2025, where they were debating the move or the shift from 5-year route to indefinite leave to remain to a proposed 10-year route for indefinite leave to remain. What that means for some of you, I'll just give you a recap. Indefinite leave for most, if not all, migrants coming to the UK is the ultimate goal that can lead to citizenship, that can lead to you getting settlement, that can lead to you getting your red passport or the British passport, which for many is the ultimate goal. To be honest, and I hope I'll be able to make videos in the future explaining all these things, because I'm actually one of those really who part and parcel of what drew me to relocating to the UK was the opportunities, job opportunities, career opportunities, education opportunities, and obviously the of me one day settling, one day becoming a citizen of this lovely, beautiful country. However, there's been a lot of changes to UK immigration policies, and we've been talking about that on this platform. We've been making a lot of videos about it, partly because I'm so well invested in this, because I'm living it day in, day out. All these policies as they are made, they do affect me as it does thousands of other people on the same visa as me or with the same immigration status as me. So earlier on this year, they published the white paper policy, which I did a video on this platform. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that video so that we can, same hymn book going forward. However, I'll give you a quick recap on that. So part and parcel of the many proposals that they make, of course, we know the care worker visa route has finally been closed, as I've been saying in my previous videos. On the 22nd, they put a stop to it. However, part and parcel of the changes that they were proposing was from 5-year route to indefinite leave to remain to a 10-year route. And now why this is of interest and why I've made this video is because a lot of people came on a care worker visa are due to for their indefinite leave to remain. Most people came around 2020, 2021 after COVID pandemic. So those people are due to apply for their indefinite leave to remain in the country. And then this year, you're just being told, oh no, unfortunately, you cannot, to wait another further 5 years. And this has led to a lot of people petitioning the UK government, and that petition gathered so many signatures that they could not ignore it, but I had to sit down and debate. And so in this video, we're going to be unpacking the outcome of that debate, and it's a partial win because nothing solid has been said. It's not yet law, it's not yet passed, but at least there are some positives that came out of it, some well-balanced pointers from both sides of the house. For those of you that are with how it works in the parliament, well-balanced, well-thought, and very, being put forward. So we just wait and see. Let's get right into this video where we're going to be talking about some of the outcomes of the debate, some of the things that the MPs were pointing out, some of the, and why they are taking those proposals. So let's get right into it. Many migrants, especially those that came on a care worker visa, are due now to apply for their indefinite leave to remain in a few months to a year. So what it meant and what a lot of people to petition this extension from 5-year to 10-year indefinite leave to remain route was the fact that obviously when it would mean extra cost or doubling of costs when people have to consistently renew their visas until they get to the 10-year route. I, for one, came on a 5-year visa. So what that meant would have been, instead of me renewing my visa, I would straight away go on to apply for indefinite leave to remain. And most people are in those circumstances. However, there are some who came on 3-year visa who have already renewed to count towards their 5-year indefinite leave to remain route. However, if that is to be extended, it would mean they keep on forking out money in visa fees. For some, I'll give you an example, and this is so close to my heart, and I'll keep talking about it. For some people, especially those that came after the changes that them not to be able to bring dependents on a care worker visa, and other people who came to the country on other circumstances, what that would mean is families being torn apart, people not being able to bring their children over or bring their spouses over. Now that is heartbreaking. Also of note, if this passes the 5-year, the 10-year indefinite remain route, it would mean people remaining in jobs that they are no longer, jobs that they don't like anymore. And the implications, we don't even want to talk about it now, from mental health to, low quality of work. Also, the other thing of note would have been continued exploitation. Part and parcel of why they have had to just close down the care worker visa route was the exploitation that they were being reported, people being subjected to exploitation by their employers. And not to say all employers were exploiting their employees, but most people were being subjected to modern day slavery, exploitation, you name it. And part and parcel of why people are subjected to that, and most people do not report, is the fact that they would be threatened with, I'll cancel your visa if you do this or if you don't do this. Now, if that visa has to be extended over a 10-year period, that means continued exploitation. So these were some of the things that the MPs were agreeing and citing as to, well, say, I don't think it's fair to really push this to the 10-year route. And both sides of the House seemed to raise the same concerns and seemed to agree on why I think for those that are already on the path, they should be led to continue on the 5 leave to remain route. Also of note, when it comes to the impact, if this 10-year route is to, across board, would mean people would have to pay more, especially in terms of health surcharge. There are people who are on skilled worker visas, which is not the health and care worker visa, where they are not exempt from paying the NHS health charge. So what that means is each time that they are renewing their work visas, or they will have to pay again the health surcharge, and it's not light. It's £1,000 per year. So you can imagine how much they'll be forking out. Also, part and parcel of the impact, I think, that they were citing was the fact that these can delay integration. When you're not settled, when you don't know what's going to happen to you, you can't settle, you can integrate. You're consistently thinking, what if tomorrow they wake up and they're saying something else? So really, there was going to be a huge impact on integration for most migrants. I'll speak for myself, really. Now, each and every day, you're constantly checking what have they said on the news, what have they said in the parliament today. You're consistently checking. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that we check and we're constantly in touch with news. But the reasons and, unsettling that is, you get a 10-year period and you're consistently just worrying what's going to happen, what if it changes, would impact settlement, really. I know most of you would be interested in knowing, so Flo, you've spoken about this, it has been debated, so what is it that we need to do next? What I can tell you is this has just been a debate. The backdrop of all the petitions, the numbers were just overwhelming. When people petition the government, petitions reaches a certain number, then it's in the parliament. And I think well done to everybody that put in their signatures, because it is actually, this debate happening. However, what I can point out is the fact that this is not law, this is not policy just yet. And again, this is not to say things are not going to change in or out of favor of migrants. Anything can happen at the moment. The situation is very volatile. So what is it that we can do? We can only do a few things, 4 things, I think, to stay informed. That is, keep following the news, keep listening what's happening with this petition, with this debate. Also to say, where we get an opportunity to write to and lobby with the MP in your areas, please do so. I've seen messages going around where people have been saying, well, write to your MPs and heed to that. It has an impact. If petitions are going around, genuine petitions, sound petitions, let's get involved. Also, the other thing that people can do is stay financially planning. That is, have indefinite leave to remain is due. Why go either way towards 5-year route? You don't want to wake up the next day and you don't have enough money for you to make your application. I was having a conversation a few days ago with certain people and I was like, well, we are a family of 4. So what that means is at the current rate, we need something like £12,500 apply for indefinite leave to remain. Now that is not light, and time is moving and it's moving fast. We came in July of 2022. So July of 2027 will be due to apply for our indefinite leave to remain. So that's not likely. Also, part of the things that people need to be aware of is to consistently keep making sure that their visas are still very valid, where you need to renew time, why you don't want to wake up the next day and then you're illegal. If you are on a skilled worker visa, you have to make sure that, or check with your employer, that are they going to renew your worker visa? Are they going to renew your COS well in advance? And if they are not, then you do it so early that you find another job that gives you sponsorship so that you stay in the country legally. We cannot go over the details that we need to still stay legal, still stay out of trouble, and of the do's and don'ts of our visas, stay within the limits of our visas, because when it comes to applying for indefinite leave to remain, those things do count. I remind everyone that if you're on a skilled worker visa, please by all means to stay within the limits of your visa, because at the end of the day, when you get to apply for your settlement, these things do come into play. Also, last but not least, another thing that people can do is to really plan their careers going forward, plan their exit in the event that the 10-year thing comes into play. Are you one who wants to wait about, or you're one who would want to move forward, or you're one who would want to return back home? You look into all of that and you see where you want to go with it, and then you start planning for it. I've just done a video about people going back home. A lot of people who are living abroad, not just the UK, are returning back home. And I've said one of the things that, lucrative as it is, enticing as it is, the idea of going back home, being amongst your people, and what it means, it requires proper planning. It requires in place financial plan, emotional and physical plan in place. So if it's one of the things that's been on your mind, then you have to start planning for it again. At the same time, I've met friends and family who have relocated to other countries. I've seen other people relocate to other countries, and actually it's not such a bad idea if it's something that you really think about, you really are daring to do. I mean, at the end of the day, after all, we are migrants, and we keep moving, we keep searching for opportunities for jobs, opportunities for settlement. So keep in mind that you can actually relocate to another country. Countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, depending on profession, can actually give you settlement within 2 years. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep thinking and exploring what our options are. And also, let's keep chasing opportunities. What is it that I can do in the meantime in this volatile immigration? What is that will set for success in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? You'd want to be proactive about your options, about your career, about your guys, that's all I had for you in this video. And leave in the comments what you think. Do you think it's going to remain the 5 indefinite leave to remain route? Because a lot of things have been things that make sense, points that do make sense. And one thing that is a ray of light and sunshine onto this whole issue is the fact that both sides, both houses, agreeing that, because of the fact that they promised people, especially people on the visa, they part and parcel of what was included in the skilled worker visa prior to all these changes was the fact that after 5 years of legal stay, of complying with your visa conditions, you could be eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So on that, we can only hope and try to do the honorable thing and allow people that are due to apply. If they are wanting to move it, maybe move it to people that are going to apply after that comes into play. It's our hope. We can only keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. But so far, it's being talked about, which is very important and very key. Unlike other things like the care worker visa, where they just woke up and they said, well, it's ending. They never debated about it. They were agreeing it has to come to an end. So there is a bit of hope, a bit of sunshine. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep, hoping, and whatever the outcome, it will suit and favor the immigrant for once. I'll see you in our next video. And don't forget to subscribe. If you're on this channel, we do talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad, opportunities, struggles, success, not just our own stories, but stories of others as well. And we are on another journey. We are on a journey, which I do feel and believe you don't want to miss it out. So the only way you can ensure you don't miss out is when you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out all of these informative videos that gives you insight into diaspora life, because I strongly believe in the diaspora journey. So guys, that's all I had for you. I'll see you in our next. Bye.